Life is like a fart. Wait, give it go. Life is like a fart. If you have to force it, it's probably poop. Right? So I'm going to be demonstrating how to play chess. The reason why I'm going to be doing this is because it's been proven that chess increases your cognitive brain abilities, increases your critical thinking, and increases your IQ, making you smarter. So the materials you're going to need is a chess set. If you don't have one, there's online resources that you can use like chess.com. Stop. There's online resources you can use like chess.com where you can play chess for free. Right? So boom. So first I'm going to teach you how the pieces move. So the pawn moves one square at a time unless it's at, go ahead, bring the camera closer. Alright, so a pawn moves one square at a time unless it's from its starting position, where it can move 2 or 1, depending on whatever you want to do. So, and it captures on the diagonal, so it'll capture like this. Boom. So then you have the knight. The knight moves in the L. So you go 2 squares up and then 1 to the left or the right. Just remember that it moves in an L. Then you have your bishop. The bishop moves in an X or on the diagonals. Then you have your rook. The rook moves in a plus or on the Y and X axis. You have your queen. The queen is a rook and a bishop combined. So it moves like an X and it can move on the X and Y or like a plus, however you want to call it. Then you have the king. The king can only move 1 square around it. But let's say this queen was right here. The king would not be able to go here because that would be an illegal move and you would lose the game. Alright, so that's how the pieces move. I'm pretty sure you can put that back now. Yes. Alright. So the point of the game is to checkmate your opponent, and you do that by attacking him in a way where he can't escape from the attack. And some things to keep in mind is how the pieces are valued. So your most valuable piece would technically be the king, but if you lose the king, the game's over. So the most valuable piece is the queen. It's worth 9. Then you have your rooks. Each rook is worth 5 points. Then you have your bishop and knight. They're both valued at 3. Some put the bishop slightly above the knight, but all the same technically. And then lastly, you have the pawn, which is worth 1 point. But once the pawn reaches the other side of the board, it can promote to anything that it chooses. It cannot promote to a pawn because it's already a pawn, and then it cannot promote into a king because it's not allowed. Okay. So there's an infinite number of ways how the game can play out. And to narrow down, you have the opening, which is how you choose to develop your pieces, the middle game, which is your start of your attack towards the enemy, and then the end game, which is where most of the checkmating happens and possible draws that could happen in the game. And so, in conclusion, a pawn moves 1 square at a time unless it's at starting position. It can move 2. Boom. All right. How does the horse move?
In the L.
Boom. You remember that. Nice. How does the rook move? In a plus, boom, she remembers that. Alright, and then you have the bishop, X. Remember that the queen is a rook and a bishop combined. And 1 square at a time for the king. Cool. Alright.
Can I say something? The bishop moves on its
That's not a bishop. So you're gonna have to just stop talking. Alright, so the closure statement, boom. So essentially you learn how to play chess, and with practice and time you'll be able to increase your critical thinking and cognitive skills. Get out of here in the video. That's it.
Oh. I thought you told me to leave.